Hey, how you folks doing? I'm Alex. Yeah, I'm here in Spanish Point Park. Yeah, beautiful day and welcome. Now, what I got for you guys today? Well, as you can tell, it's a little bit breezy. It's a nice day. So, I want to do a quick video today. You know, I was talking to my daughter's counselor today. We were there talking together and talking about these teenage problems, and we all know that we went through them when we were in high school. You know, things like the teacher don't like me, sports, people are picking on me, the standard things, and we can look back to these things and see how dramatically big they were. The boyfriends and all of this kind of stuff that you go through high school. And when we look back to it, it was like, it weren't that big of a deal, but when you're going through it, it just feels like it's the whole world, because it is their world. It is what they're facing. This is the adversity they're on. And sometimes that's what we're going through, the same type of thing. And that's what I was thinking about today when I was listening to her, talking to the counselor, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, man, I guess we all have our own little high school drama going on, even though we're out of high school. Sometimes it just feels like so much bad things happen. It's like, I can't believe any more things could happen. I don't know if you guys remember that movie back in '93 or in the early '90s, My Cousin Vinny. And you got Joe Pesci with the girlfriend. I can't remember the name on there. But anyway, you got Joe Pesci there, and she's talking about her biological clock is ticking. And he said, well, I got this whole pile of crap I got to deal with. But yeah, let's pile on more crap to it. Of course, he says it so colorful and with much more deliberate language. So, he's saying, okay, let's pile more crap on top of the crap that I got. And sometimes it just feels that, man, it's just so much crap coming on top of us that when are we ever going to get rid of it? When is it going to stop? Sometimes it goes on for so long it just feels like there's no end. I mean, you got years into it or whatever, months, and the debt, the mortgages, the rents, the credit card bills. I mean, how much crap can a person put up with and then, still feel like, man, and I still got to put my best foot forward. I still got to work hard. And, it just feels like, boy, life is just not being so fair. And, and these difficulties goes on. So I want to share with you guys a story. And this story is a Chinese story. It's a Chinese proverb story type of thing. And it's a great little story about a teenage boy coming to age. He's coming to age. And the great honor at this point in time was that for a teenage boy, when he came to age, he was able to join the emperor's army. Now this was a great honor. For any boy, it's like a turning into manhood. You were able to join the emperor's army. So finally the day came for young Wang to join the Chinese army. So the night before the army conscripts came to pick all the young men up, guess what? A big giant storm struck the region. And the floods came in, almost half the village was destroyed. Of course, when the army general saw all the destruction and the devastation that took place, he just said, look, we can't take any young man from this region. They're going to need every manpower to be able to rebuild. So, what he said he opted to leave the young man there and will come back for the next season. Oh, young Wang was very upset. He was, man, I've been waiting for my whole life to join the emperor's army. And now, well, I got to wait for another season. Well, the next season came, and his father was, okay, Wang, we're going to go to the army today. I'm going to give you my best horse. I want you to enter the army camp with a horse. I don't want you to be like most of the other young men who's going to walk in. You're going to walk in with a horse. You're going to enter in with a horse. So Wang gets in the horse, his dad's horse, the best horse his dad had. He walks, he's entering the camp. And I don't know, a dog or whatever scamps across. The horse gets scared, jumps up in the air, and young Wang, blam, falls on the ground, breaks his leg in 2 places. Well, of course he can't join the army with a broken leg, so they take him back to his dad, Well, you know, we're going to have to wait a couple more seasons so he gets strength back on his legs. So we'll probably won't see him for another year or so. So we'll wait for Wang. Well, this went on year after year, season after season, and Wang just had misfortune after misfortune. It just seemed like every time the army came, a tree would fall. All this would happen. But every time something would happen that would prevent him from joining the army. He couldn't join the emperor's army. Then finally, after years of trying to draft or conscribe young Wang, the conscripts just kept calling him, oh, we don't want to go check out unlucky Wang, because you don't know what happened to him this time around. It just became like the laugh of the camp, you know, because every time they came, young Wang was hurt and injured or something had happened to him. So what they did, you know, then the general got a hold of this, and he was like, huh? What's going on here? What do you mean that every time you come and get young Wang, something happens to him? Well, he said, it's true. Every time you come and get him, something happens to him. He always has an accident. Something bad happens. He's just the unluckiest person in all of China. Well, the general said, no, we ain't going to have this nonsense. He's not unlucky. He's just avoiding his service. And today, we're going to make an example of young Wang. We're going to make sure that if he's not ready to serve, then we're going to execute him. So the general himself said, we're going to go get him and bring him to the camp, and he better be ready to serve. So the general and the conscripts will go up to pick up young Wang, and they walk into the house, and the father comes to the door, and he said, where is Wang? And the general shouts out to the father. He said, wow, he's bedridden. Oh, we don't believe that story no more. That is just not going to happen. If he don't come out here right now, we will decapitate him. Well, the father went in to talk to Wang. He said Wang couldn't even get out of bed. He was so weak. He said, man, maybe it is better off to decapitate me. Send some people over to help me, carry me out there so that I could face my sentence. Because I just been so unlucky that I need to face my sentence. That's what Wang says. That's just terrible what's happening to my life. So then finally, the father came out and talked to the general. General, could you bring some men to help me carry my son? Because he really won't be able to join your army, so I guess it's better that he is executed. You know? The general said, huh? Oh, no. Well, I'm going to walk in and see what happens. When the general walked into Wang's room, he saw Wang. Wang had pus on him and all kinds of skin disease. He just looked horrible. And the smell in the room, it was like rotten skin. So the general was like, oh my gosh, this guy is really, really sick. And he really looks bad. And the general was like, oh my gosh, is this happening every time? He asked his conscript. Every time, they said. Every time they want to come get Wang, some misfortune happened. I mean floods, horses falling, trees falling, lightning hitting him. I mean, he just has the worst luck in all of China. And then the general said, you know what? I'm going to pass a decree. As of this day, young Wang is not allowed to join my army. He will never ever join the Chinese army. We do not want such an unlucky person to join the army. This person would, gosh, you know how many battles we will lose with a person with that kind of luck? We will never want him in our army. So, young Wang was banned for the army for life. He couldn't ever join the army. So, well, he said, you know, eventually Wang got better. And, you know, he was depressed. I mean, you know, having a reputation as being the unluckiest guy in all of China. You know, the people village looked at him, oh, don't get away from Wang. He's the unluckiest guy in China. You know, everything bad is around him. So, as the years went by, Wang was all kind of sad and blue. You know, people wanted to stay away from him. One day, one of the wealthiest men in the entire region came to see Wang's father. And he said, I need to marry my daughter. Now, she was the most beautiful woman in all the region. And the father said, well, sir, I don't know if you know about my son, but they kind of labeled him as kind of unlucky, and nobody wants to be around him because he's known as unlucky. He said, unlucky? I've heard about his stories. I've never heard of a luckier person than him. And he goes, the father was like, huh? Luckier? He was banned for the emperor's army. And the father pointed out, you know, he's about to get a hand in marriage to the most beautiful lady in all the region. He never had to serve the army, so that means he never had to go through the hardships. And what happened to most of his friends? They're not even there to be with him. He's healthy, he's about to inherit immense wealth, so where is the unlucky part? Father thought about it, and he said, you know what, you're right, let me go talk to my son. So of course the father went to his son. He said, son, I think we've been looking at this all wrong. You know, I'm about to marry you to the most beautiful lady in all of the region, and you're about to become one of the wealthiest people in the entire region, because her inheritance becomes your inheritance, plus you will get my inheritance. You'll be one of the most wealthiest persons in the entire region. So the day finally came. Wang got all dressed up, all looking all handsome, and he was getting ready to get married that day. And he looked at his dad. He said, you know what, I'm looking out there. There's not a single friend that I went to school with. They all died in those battles with the emperor's army. And then look at poor Chu. He's got no legs and he's blind. You know, Dad, you're right. I am the luckiest man in China. And from that day onward, Wang was no longer considered the unluckiest person in China, but he was now considered the luckiest person in China. And I like that story. You know, it's one of those stories that you could get a lot of value out of it. You know, sometimes the hardships that look so bad and terrible aren't as bad and terrible when you look back on them. You know, I always say look back towards your high school years and look at the biggest problems you had in high school and how irrelevant they are today. You know, we could go through life, and we're going through our difficult times right now. We're going through these moments right now, whatever it is. And I know we are. We all face our challenges. But one day, I believe that we're all going to look back to some of these times and say, you know what? I'm not so unlucky as I once thought I was. Maybe I was the luckiest man, just like Wang did. One day he discovered that having lightning, trees fall on him, horses fall on him, floods happen to him, weren't the unluckiest thing that could happen. Actually, they were some of the most luckiest thing that could ever happen. So I hope you guys take the story to heart. And if you're going through difficult times, endure. Just endure. You know, I mean, I know that it's hard at times. And I know we all have our difficulties and we all have our challenges. So all we got to do is endure. And one day we will look back. And we'll be looking back. And you know, I look at a lot of the network marketers. And you look to their story and their beginnings, how their struggles were. You know, their struggles weren't when they were making incredible amount of income. Their struggles were when they were trying to just get started online. So any network marketer that you see with tremendous success started where you were, with no income, struggling to figure it all out, and trying to see how this all works. And just don't give up. That's the only time that you can really say you have lost or you are really defeated. Defeat is once you give up. As long as you can fight, keep the fight going. If you got to change. You got to adapt your strategy, adapt your strategies. Don't just give up. And one day you'll be the luckiest person. And people will look back, boy, look at Lucky Joe. He's done that. And you'll say, man, if you only knew the hardship I went through to become Lucky Joe. So anyway, on that note, yeah, I want to catch you in the next video diary. See ya. Hi, and thank you for watching that video from the Digital Marketing Academy. We created these short video series. We call them the SOS series, marketing series. But we want to help you further. We want to take your marketing to the next level. So click the link down below and it will take you straight to the Academy where you will get an in-depth training, 5-video training, totally free, no commitments. So I'll see you on the other side. Bye.